Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is Kendrick Perkins finally exposes the hate the media has for the Clippers. So that's the topic I want to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, be on the lookout for our Dreamerspro Premium community, which is launching this week. It all depends when you see this video, obviously. And be on the lookout for that. And also, we're going to be launching our website after that. So anyway, let me get into this topic here. Got a lot of things I want to say. Sometimes I'm always into listening to sports and all that. It's like, I'm immersed in this thing. I'm knee deep in it. You know what I mean? But anyway, I've had some questions about the media all through this season. We published a number of videos talking about this, spoken about Stephen A. Smith, spoken about the fact how the Clippers are never being mentioned in headlines except when they do poorly. It's only up until recently there's certain shows like The Jump on ESPN and others are kind of finally taking notice of the team. The NBA, I think NBA.com releases power rankings. They finally had them at number one for the first time this entire season. I don't know how many weeks have gone by. Probably 12 plus weeks have gone by this season. I don't know. No, maybe 10 weeks have gone by this season. I've mentioned it over and over again, time and time again. I don't understand why Kawhi Leonard is not being mentioned for one of the leading candidates for MVP this season. He's having an amazing year as far as his efficiency. His team is having great team success. If I look at their record, taking into, including the loss that they had to the Brooklyn Nets, they're the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. I think they have the number 2 record in the NBA. Yes, they have the number 2 record. No, they're tied for the number 2 record with the Lakers in the NBA, right? So the Clippers have been doing very, very well this season. But the media has not been covering them enough. For whatever reason, they don't cover them. When they lose, they make front page news, and it seems to be the theme. And like, now that they lost to the Nets, I'm sure it's going to be, oh my God, is actually quite predictable. But my point has been, as a Kawhi Leonard fan, I've been asking why they're not giving this guy enough, recognition. Right. That's the reason I talk about the guy so much, because I feel that, listen, he doesn't get enough coverage. Right. And that's the balance we're trying to provide. I don't think that if we sat here and covered the prototypical topics that you see on ESPN, that you see on Fox Sports, how are we any different than anybody talking about, basketball on the internet? How do we become different? How do you stand out? By doing exactly what everybody else is doing? You don't. Number one. Number two, how do you stand out even if you're talking about different things and giving the similar takes that all these guys are giving? I don't think you make a voice for yourself in this space. I don't think people need to hear different points or the same points parroted by different faces all throughout the media and then feel like, oh my God, I'm doing something, when really you're just repeating what everybody else is saying. I don't think you stand out like that. I don't think you make a voice for yourself, and I don't think you have any credibility because you don't come up with any fresh content, fresh ideas. If you go through our catalog of content, we have over 600 videos on our channel to this point. You can go and see that we have a plethora of topics, and some of the topics that we come up with, you're never going to see that. You can go comb through the internet as much as you want. I'm talking about YouTube. You rarely hear, see content that comes at things from the angle that we come at them. You rarely see that. Even these top media companies that have all the resources at their exposure, sometimes I go through their comments and some of the people are wondering, wow, you guys can't come up with anything more original than that. I mean, listen, they're not worried about clicks and views. They already have the audience. So for God's sakes, you can come up with better content. You're not worried about the audience. They're there, right? People are going to watch you regardless, whether or not you're good or not. People tend to give these guys the benefit of the doubt just because they're big. There are many times you've watched a video from some of these guys, and at the end of that video, you're like, I didn't hear anything that was like informative or interesting, but you watched it anyway because you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're big, period, end of story. So we're not trying to mirror these guys and then, still you don't stand out that way by doing that. But anyway, listen. So I was listening to the All the Smoke podcast last night with Kendrick Perkins. And first of all, they do a lot of cussing on that show. A lot of it. Now, I do have some thoughts about swearing. You notice I don't swear in the channel because that's not the type of energy we're trying to put out there. Number one. Number two, it takes no effort to curse. Like literally, no effort. So by not cursing, it shows that you have some type of restraint. Number three, ESPN, they don't curse. Fox Sports, they don't curse, so why should we curse? But nevertheless, they do it on that platform. Now, what's surprising to me is that you see a Kendrick Perkins on TV that, works on ESPN. He doesn't swear. Then you see him go on the podcast. I'm not criticizing him, by the way. I'm just giving it like kind of an observation, something I think about. Then you see him going on the podcast and then he's cursing. So my question is, a lot of this is branding. You put yourself out there in one way and you're kind of another way. I remember I was watching the Last Dance documentary, and Magic Johnson went to go see Michael Jordan. I think it was in the All-Star game in the locker room. And he was about to curse, and he looked, and he was like, "Oh, damn! There's the cameras. Let me stop." Right? Magic Johnson knew what the hell he was doing. Right? Magic Johnson has an image. He's a brand. Right? I can't remember the last time I saw Michael Jordan curse anywhere. So I don't know if that's so good for Kendrick's branding, but I don't think he cares. I think that's their niche of content, which is just very raw. And uncut, and probably that's the way they like it. And obviously there's an audience out there that loves that type of content, so I'm not here to criticize it. I just find it to be interesting, but who am I? I'm not. But anyway, yesterday I was watching that podcast. I haven't watched I haven't watched it in its entirety. And Matt Barnes asked Kendrick Perkins about the Clippers. And Kendrick Perkins pointed out a very interesting point. Now, we're going to bleep this out because we don't do that on our channel, but we're going to bleep it out, but you're going to understand everything that he says. So before I go too far, take a listen to this audio.
I think both LA teams have got off to good starts. Thoughts on each of them? Start with the Clippers. And I think Paul George is playing really well right now. I think he's at the 50, 48, 90, has a lot to prove. So I think he's off to a good start.
You know what? It's sad because the media and everybody don't give the Clippers their props because of what they did last year and that they didn't meet expectations because they're balling right now. They're clicking on all cylinders. They're playing the gender-free basketball. Defensively, they're locked in. And Paul George said it on All the Smoke. Pay, and he's backing that shit up. Say whatever they want about Paul George. He spoke about and he's doing that shit on the court. Kawhi is being Kawhi. But I love what the others are finally bringing to the table offensively. Pat Bell knocking down threes. I'm going to tell y'all who's an unsung hero to me. Nicholas Batum. He don't get enough credit, but he does everything that he needs to do in that offense. You see him denying the wings. You see him shooting passing lanes, taking charges. And he's knocking down those corner threes when need be. And Marcus Morris has accepted his role as coming in as a six-man. And that's what you want. So I'm looking at them. The chemistry is there. They got to get their flowers. Like, you got to leave last year. Like, these is good.
But people, I feel you. And as a player, I understand that. But people want to see it in the playoffs, plain and simple.
No, they do.
That's what everyone wants to see. You know what I mean? So I agree with everything you say because obviously I'm a player and I know the process and how hard it is to get on the same page. You can see their chemistry is a lot better now. Ty Lue is fitting in. Ty Lue is putting in people in position where they feel like they could be most successful. So it's happening. But at the end of the day, because I've been on those Clipper teams, we've blown had a lot of potential. We look good in the regular season, but the regular season is only going to get you so far. Once they start doing it in the playoffs, I think is when the world will start because we just live in a certain day and age now. We all know that. So you got to see it in the playoffs. Thoughts on Lakers?
Now, in that audio, Kendrick Perkins, who's in the media, and by the media, I mean working for the biggest sports companies out there, he knows the politics, and he says, listen, it's a damn shame that the media is just not covering the Clippers, and he basically gave his reason why. So if Kendrick Perkins that works at ESPN understands it, then you know it's true. It's not some conspiracy. It's not some, oh my God, you're making something up. Are you imagining things? No, this is real, right? The media is not covering this team for reasons he just explained and reasons I've been saying all season long, right? It's clear. They're not doing that. Last night, you saw the referees decided to just swallow their whistle. I was watching them against the Nets, and I was surprised. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on? How is PG only finishing this game with one free throw attempt? How is it that they're calling all these ticky-tack fouls on these guys? But, their key players don't get calls. I don't know if that trickles down to the refereeing in the NBA, but for Kawhi Leonard at that level to barely get any calls, it's surprising. And James Harden flipping and flopping and doing belly flops and the backstrokes and all of that stuff out there, he's getting calls for everything, right? So I think the Clippers know at this point that they got to play through all of this. they're not going to get any breaks, and that's fine. Sometimes you got to come from behind. Sometimes you're not going to have an advantage. Sometimes some people are going to have an advantage over you. That's not just with the Clippers. That's just with life, really. I think watching these Clippers and seeing how they compete, I think it's a good metaphor for life, right? I'm just going to digress momentarily here. In life, some of us, we all start at different starting points, right? All of us start at different starting points. Some people are born from very rich families. Some people are born in poor families. Some people are born in middle-class families. Some people have the advantage of growing up in a household with their mother and father. Some people grow up with just their moms. Some people grow up with just their dads, right? Some people don't even have parents to grow up to, right? Some people are homeless. Some people grow up in shelters. We all have different circumstances that we all face. And what we have to do is make the best of those circumstances in front of us and thrive regardless. Now, is it kind of, am I making it seem like a utopia? Like, oh, just go out there and do it. No. That's delusional. Anyone that tells you to overlook circumstances and act like as if you're supposed to be able to succeed regardless of your circumstances is a bloody idiot. Let me just tell you that right now. Trust me, that is a damn fool. Don't listen to anybody like that. What I'm saying is, although your circumstances may not be the same, talking about the Clippers here, you may not get the calls, may not get it all, just in life, you may not have everything handed to you, you may not have the perfect situation. It doesn't mean that you can't make it or you can't compete. But understand that those things are there. That's just being realistic. I'll give you one example. I'm Nigerian American. I was born in the States and all this, but I've lived in Nigeria for the past 2 years. Let me tell you something. In Nigeria, there are a lot of people that are struggling. If anybody thinks that the reason that a lot of those people there that are struggling is not because they're working hard or maybe they're not smart, you're a damn fool. A damn fool. There are a lot of people, young youth, people that went to college, got out of college, mechanical engineering, lawyers, medicine. They can't find jobs. Next thing you know, they're driving Uber. I've jumped in so many Ubers and I've asked them, "Hey man, what did you do?" The guy would tell me, "I'm a chemical engineer." Driving an Uber. You're like, what? Are you kidding me? He's like, there's just no opportunities. I don't have the connections, right? A lot of jobs that people get out there is just off of connections, right? A lot of contracts. You think that is, oh, because this guy is the best, therefore it rarely has anything to do with the best. It's who do they know? A lot of the times is who do you know? It has nothing to do with that. Some people don't have the resources. Some people work their tails off and the opportunity is not there. Forget about, oh, it sounds good when people say, oh, you need to work and not look back and da-da-da. It's just nonsense. These guys, most of them have not even been anywhere in the world. They just live where they live. They don't travel the world. They don't have a global perspective of the world and see what it's like in other parts of the world. When you travel and you see other parts of the world, you understand that some people don't have the basic things to thrive, then you close your mouth. I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, some people that I follow, right? Some people I thought they were serious, say a lot of stupid things. I'll even say one of his names. Maybe I shouldn't, but I've seen a lot of guys say some stupid things, right? Like, this and this and this. Is it fair? No, the Clippers are gonna have to play through it. But in reality, trust me, life ain't fair. It's not. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with whether you're working hard or something. Some people just ain't gonna give it to you. They're just not going to give it to you. And is it fair? No. But that's the way it is, right? So for the Clippers, yes, the media hates you. Yes, they're overlooking you. We understand that. Yes, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt, but you have to do your best regardless. Because at a certain point, things will break your way. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And that's my message out there for you guys. I know I went off on a bit of a tangent here, but I had to say that because at the end, yes, we're a sports channel, but we're also people. Right. And we can also relate on a human level beyond just sports. So that's what I wanted to say on that video. I'm not going to, but I won't do that often. But anyway, Let me know what you guys think about what the audio said, what Kendrick Perkins said, and what you think about the overall video. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. And also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the next video that we have coming up. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.